I am Dr. Jayaprakash Onatipnor, Assistant Professor, Government Engineering College, Haveri, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. I would like to start uh, micro antennas. In this subject, micro antenna, I am going to start with model number 3, antenna basics. So this antenna basics module consisting of the following contents: introduction, objectives, basic antenna parameters, antenna temperature and antenna field zones, patterns, beam area, radiation intensity, beam efficiency, directivity and gain, effective aperture, effective height, radiation efficiency, radio communication link, antenna field zones. So these are the topics I would like to discuss in future classes. Now I would like to start with the introduction of antennas. An antenna is used to radiate electromagnetic energy and in desired directions. Antenna acts as a matching system between sources of electromagnetic energy, or it is a transmitter or generator. It is sources between electromagnetic energy and space. Antenna is a source or radiator of electromagnetic waves or a sensor of electromagnetic waves. It is a transition device between guided wave to free space wave or free space wave to guided wave. It is a transition device between free space guided wave to free space wave will be at the transmitter side, and it is a transition device between free space wave to guided wave at the receiver, and it will also called as a transducer. It is also an electrical conductor, or it is a system of conductors which radiates electromagnetic energy into the space. So at the receiver, this antenna collects electromagnetic energy from the space. Functionally, antenna will be working as transmitting and receiving purpose of the electromagnetic waves. So what are the examples of these electromagnetic waves? It includes light from the sun and the waves received by our cell phones or mobile phones or radio. Our eyes are basically working as a receiving antenna because they will pick up electromagnetic waves that are of a particular frequency. The colors we can detect from our eyes, that is red, green, blue, are having different frequencies which will recognized or detected by our eyes. All electromagnetic waves propagate at the speed of light, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. That means the speed of electromagnetic waves is equal to the speed of light, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, which is more than that of sound speed. This speed of light will be represented by C. This SI unit is meter per second. Now I will move on to a rough outline of some major antennas development and their discovery or fabrication as follows. Agave antenna invented in 1920, horn antennas are 1939, antenna arrays 1940s, parabolic reflectors will be was invented um, late 1940s and earlier 1950s. After that, in 1970, patch antennas are fabricated or invented. In 1980s, PIFA antennas are invented. Now I will move on to objectives of this antenna chapter. Here we are going to study introduction about the antenna parameters in terms of antenna language, because if you want to discuss working principle of antennas, different types of antennas, should have some terms or definitions with respect to antenna we have to discuss here, and then antenna field zones utilization, and link budget calculation for any communication link. Now I will move on to basic antenna parameters. A radio antenna may be defined as the structure associated with the region of transition between guided wave and free space wave at the transmitter side. At the receiver side, it is the transition device between free space wave to guided wave. So we know that antenna will radiate electromagnetic energy at the transmitting side. Antenna at the receiver side will receives or collects the electromagnetic energy at the receiving side. On what basis these antennas, on what principle these antennas will be working? So we'll see that one. Under time varying conditions, Maxwell's equations predict the radiation of electromagnetic energy from the current source or charge, accelerated charge. This happens at all the frequencies, but it is insignificant as long as size of the antenna will become comparable to the wavelength. While during the transmission line are designed to minimize this radiation lines loss, radiation into free space becomes main purpose in case of antenna. What is the purpose of antenna? The main purpose of antenna is radiation into free space. The basic principle of radiation is produced by accelerating the charge. So that accelerating the charge will be represented by the basic equation of radiation is IL is equal to QV. Here I is equal to time changing current in amperes per second. L is length of the current element in meters. Q is charge in coulomb. V is time changing velocity. This time changing current radiates and accelerated charge radiates. For steady state harmonic variation, usually we focus on time changing current. For transient or pulse, we focus on accelerated charge. The radiation is perpendicular to the acceleration of charge, but radiated power is proportional to the square of the IL or square of the QV. Transmission line is opened out in a tapered fashion is called as antenna. What is this transmission line? Transmission line is a wire which is connected between transmitter and receiver. One end of the transmission line is connected to the transmitter. One end of the transmission line is connected to the transmitter, and the other end is kept at open, which will be working as antenna. This main function of the transmission line, here the signal carries from the transmitter end to the open end of the transmission line. In this region, through the transmission line, the signal is called as a guided wave or transverse electromagnetic wave, which is single dimension. As we know, antenna is used in the wireless communication. Here, your signal, your media is space or air, right? But in wireless communication, both the transmitting and receiving antennas are designed for same frequency or same bandwidth, and they should be fixed on same height. Okay, so your antennas and your both the transmitting and receiving antennas are called as a transceivers, because transceiver means antenna either you can use at transmitter side or you can use at the receiver side. It can perform, it can be working as a both transceiver to transmit and receive, but one at a time. It may be transmit one at a time. When it is transmitting or radiating the signal, it is not receiving. When it is receiving, it is not transmitting. So Antenna may be used as a transmitting antenna or receiving antenna, one at a time, but not both at the same time. Okay, so first I will consider how it works as a transmitting antenna. Here, the transmission line is connected to source or generator at one end. Along the uniform part of the line, energy is guided as plane transmission wave with little loss. When the signal is transmitting from the transmitter to the open end of the transmission line, so through this transmission line, a signal is guided wave or it is called as a transverse electromagnetic wave. Here your signal is having little loss. The spacing between the line is small fraction of lambda. As the line is opened out and the separation between the two lines becomes comparable to lambda. So when the separation between the line will becomes comparable to lambda, it acts as an antenna. And when it is working or acts as an antenna, it launches or radiates free space wave because currents on the transmission line flow out on the antenna, but fields associated with them keep on going. From the circuit point of view, antenna appear to the transmission lines as a resistance RR called as radiation resistance. Now, at the receiving antenna, if you want to see how it works as a receiving antenna, initially, if you want to receive the signal from the air or space, your signal should be transmitted from the transmitting antenna or other antenna. So therefore, active radiation by the other antenna or passive radiation from the distant objects raises the apparent temperature of RR. When the signals are transmitting from the other antenna or transmitting antenna, because of from the distance objects, it raises the apparent temperature of the radiation resistance. This radiation apparent temperature nothing to do with the physical temperature of the antenna, but it is related to the temperature of the distant objects that is antenna is looking at. So radiation resistance may be thought of as a virtual resistance. Radiation resistance is a virtual resistance that do not exist physically in the antenna, but it is a quantity coupling the antenna to distant region of space via virtual transmission line. So this is how an antenna either transmitting or receiving, how it works. For example, if your antenna is working in transmission mode, so your signal is generator, it is consisting of three regions. Generator is one region, transmission line is another part, and transition region is third part. Generator, your signal is ready to transmit. So one end of the transmission line, which is in the middle region of the transmission region of a transmission mode of antenna, one end of the transmission is connected to the generator or electromagnetic source. So this from this transmission line, signal will move towards the open end of the transmission line. So in this region, a signal is guided electromagnetic wave. So once it reaches the open open region of the transmission line, in this region that is called as a transition region, here lambda will become to comparable to lambda. Here your signal will become to comparable. Separation between these two lines will become comparable to lambda. It will be working as an antenna. Up to here, current will be flowing. After that, from here open end, this in this transition region, current will stop flowing, but fields will be detaching from this open end of the transmission line into the free space. Those are called as electromagnetic fields or radiated electromagnetic wave. So these waves launched into the free space. This is how your antenna will be working as a in transmission mode. So once the electromagnetic waves launched into the free space from the transmitting antenna, they will move towards the receiving antenna. Depending on the signal frequency, which is equal to the bandwidth of the your antennas, those signals move towards the receiving antenna. So this is second figure. It shows the how your antenna will be working in receiving mode. So these electromagnetic waves propagating from the transmitting antenna to the receiving antenna, they are called as incident waves, which will received by the open end of the receiving antenna like this. At the receiving antenna, these electromagnetic waves coming from the propagating from the space are called as incident waves. So once it will reaches the receiving antenna or open end of the transmission line at the receiving antenna, receive the incident waves. This is transition region. These electromagnetic waves will be converted into guided wave in the transmission line. So those will be input to the receiver. At the receiver, reverse process of communication process is demodulation will be taking place and amplification will be taking place. Original information you will be getting. Thus, an antenna is a transition device or a transducer between a guided wave and a free space wave or free space wave to guided wave. So therefore, the antenna is a device which interfaces a circuit and a space. So to work like this, an antenna is having some conditions, some characteristics. So that is represented by or explained by reciprocity. An antenna exhibits identical impedance during transmission or reception. So if antenna is working, antenna is transmitting or radiating the signals into the space, or receiving antenna will receiving the electromagnetic waves from the space, the both antennas should be having the same impedance or equal impedance, and they should have directional patterns, same directional patterns during transmission and reception, and they should keep same effective height while transmitting or receiving. So transmission and reception antennas can be used interchangeably. As I told, antenna can be used as a transmitting antenna or receiving antenna, but one at a time, but not both at a time. Okay, so therefore, medium must be linear, a medium between transmitting and receiving antenna to save signal transmission. Medium must be linear, passive, and isotropic. Isotropic media is one, its physical properties are same in different directions. So antennas are usually optimized for reception or transmission, not for both at a time. Now I will move on to next topic is patterns. The radiation pattern or antenna pattern is the graphical representation of the radiation properties of the antenna as a function of space. That is, antenna patterns describes how the antenna radiates energy into space or how it collects the energy from the space at the receiving antenna. It is important to state that antenna can radiate energy in all the directions. So antenna pattern is actually three-dimensional. However, to describe this three-dimensional pattern, we are going to use two planar patterns called as principal plane patterns. These principal plane patterns can be obtained by making two slices through the 3D pattern as shown in the following figure through the maximum value of the pattern. Because principal plane pattern that are commonly referred to as the antenna pattern. Radiation pattern or antenna pattern is the spatial distribution of a quantity. radiation pattern or antenna pattern is defined as the distribution of quantity that characterizes the electromagnetic field generated by the antenna. The quantity may be power, radiation intensity, field amplitude, relative phase, etc. This figure shows radiation pattern of antenna. See here, it consisting of radiation has main lobe through which radiation is maximum in z direction. Usually a field pattern or antenna pattern, the power radiated, maximum power radiated will be represented by the lobe, or it is called as a major lobe in z direction. And minor lobes or side lobes or back lobes will be in x and y direction, in which minor lobes or side lobes or back lobes power will be very minimum. Radiated power will be very minimum. Any field pattern is presented by 3D spherical coordinates or by plane cuts through the main lobe axis as shown in this figure. Two plane cuts as right angles are called as principal plane pattern. To specify the radiation pattern with respect to field intensity and polarization, it requires three patterns. To specify the radiation pattern with respect to what? Polarization and field intensity, you require three patterns. One is the theta component of the electric field as a function of theta and pi, that is represented as E theta of theta comma pi. Its unit is volt per meter. Second field component is pi component of the electric field as a function of theta comma pi. It is represented as E pi of theta comma pi. It is measured in volt per meter. Second field component. In third field component, that is different from previous two field components, it is a phase between these two fields as a function of theta and pi angles that can be represented in theta direction, that is delta theta of theta comma pi or delta pi of theta comma pi, right? That will be these phase angles between these two field components is measured in radians or degrees. Now, what is normalized field pattern? So it is obtained by dividing a field component by its maximum value. For example, you can take, if you want to define normalized field pattern, you know two field patterns. One is theta component of field component, that is E theta, and E pi components. If you take one field pattern E theta of theta comma pi, for this, if you want to define the normalized field pattern, you have to, it is the ratio of a field component divided by its maximum value. For example, normalized field pattern in theta component is E theta divided by theta comma pi divided by E theta of theta comma pi, its maximum value. So therefore, E pi of theta comma pi normalized. So therefore, that is equal to E pi of theta comma pi divided by E pi of theta comma pi maximum value. This is how we have to get the normalized field pattern from the any field component. So now half power levels for this normalized field pattern, half power levels occurs at the angles theta comma pi. Half power levels occurs at the angles theta comma pi when normalized field pattern E theta of theta comma pi of n or E pi of theta comma pi of n will be 0.787. Okay, so now at the distance d is very much greater than lambda, and the D is very much greater than size of the antenna, the shape of the field pattern is independent of the distance. Now I will move on to normalized power pattern. As you are having the field component E theta of theta comma pi or E pi of theta comma pi, we are having the power pattern in same theta and pi components. So that can be represented as a normalized power pattern expressed in terms of power per unit area is called as power pattern. Pattern express power expressed in terms of power per unit area is called as a power pattern. So if you normalize this power pattern with respect to maximum value, so for example, Pn of theta comma pi n is equal to power per unit area. S of power per unit area or power density is nothing but what? It is a Poynting vector. Poynting vector will be represented in terms of S. S of theta comma pi, because power will be also in the function as the function of theta comma pi. So therefore Poynting vector S will be as a function of theta comma pi. S of theta comma pi divided by its maximum value, that is S of theta comma pi maximum. Okay, so therefore normalized power pattern will be represented as it is the ratio of S of theta comma pi divided by S of theta comma pi maximum value, where S of theta comma pi is the Poynting vector is given by E theta square of theta comma pi plus E pi square of theta comma pi divided by Z naught watt per meter square. So S of theta comma pi maximum is the maximum value of Poynting vector. Z naught is the intrinsic impedance of free space 377 ohm. If you want to convert this normalized power pattern in dB, you have to take 10 log 10 for normalized power. So half power levels occurs at the theta comma pi, for which your normalized power is equal to 0.5. Now I will explain what are the different parts you are having the pattern. This is the figure in which you are going to explain different parts of a one radiated field pattern from an antenna. So I am going to consider your antenna is center point where your XYZ axis are meeting. This is center point O, which is I am going to consider it as antenna. It radiates the power. As we know, antenna will radiates the maximum power in Z direction, representing by the major lobe. Represented by the major lobe. This black shade big leaf is there, no? In which direction? That is Z direction. It is a maximum power radiated by an antenna from the center. This is how your maximum radiation is represented. So other small leaf-like structures are there, no? So these are called as the side lobes or minor lobes. These are called as side lobes or minor lobes. Through this side lobes or minor lobes, your power is radiated from power from the antenna is very small. Okay. So now between these lobes, some space is there. This space is called as null. Either side of the major lobe, between each lobe, two lobes, some space is there. That space is called as null. Null means the radiated power is zero. Radiated power is zero. So exactly opposite to the major lobe, a small minor lobe is called as a back lobe. Small lobe is called as a back lobe. Other lobes of either side of the major lobes are called as side lobes, are called as the side lobes or minor lobes. Now I am going to define from this field pattern full first null beam width, half power beam width. So what is this first null beam width? See, null means It is the space between the two lobes. So this and either side of the major lobe, you are having two nulls are there. The width between these two first nulls is called as first null beam width. Okay. Now, if you draw, if you mark a point where your maximum power is reduced to half, this is one point that is in theta direction, this is one point that is in pi direction. The width between two half power points on either side of the major lobe, on either side of the major lobe, that width of the between two half power points on the major lobe is called as the half power beam width. Half power beam width. So beam width is associated with the lobes in the antenna pattern. It is defined as the angular separation between the two identical points on the opposite side of the main lobe. The most common type of beam width is the half of 3 dB beam width, that is HPPW. To find the half power beam width in the equation defining the radiation pattern, we set the power 0.5 and solve it for angles. You will be getting the half power beam width. Another frequently used measure bandwidth is beam width is first null beam width. It is angular separation between the first nulls on either side of the main lobe. So this figure is a representation of the pattern, antenna pattern or field pattern in spherical coordinate system. The same thing can be represented in Cartesian coordinate system. See, this is a major lobe which is represented by the radiation intensity U. So this is maximum value. You mark two half points on either side of the lobe. The width between these two half power points is called HPBW. And from this point to this point, that is width between first null, that is FNBW. The space between these major and minor lobes are called as a null. These are side lobes, these are minor lobes. This is how you are going to represent a field pattern of an antenna in Cartesian coordinate system. Now I will move on to beam width. Beam width means antenna beam width is measure of directivity of antenna. The antenna beam width is the angular width, which is expressed in terms of degrees. It is measured on the major lobe of the radiation pattern of antenna. What is beam width? Beam width is the measure of directivity of an antenna. The antenna beam width is angular width expressed in degrees. It is measured on the major lobe of radiation pattern of antenna. Now, what is half power beam width? These are the definitions of different parameters or technical terms with respect to antenna. Half power beam width, it is the angular width on the major lobe of radiation pattern between 2 points where the power is half of the maximum radiated power is called as half power beam width. Here the power decreases to half from the maximum value. First null beam width. When the angular width is measured between the first nulls or first side lobes, it is called first null beam width. So now we'll see what are the factors affecting the beam width are first shape of the radiation pattern, dimension of the antenna and wavelength. What are the factors affecting the beam width? The shape of the radiation pattern and dimension of the antenna and wavelength. These will affect the beam width. Beam width defines resolution capability of the antenna, that is ability of the system to operate two adjacent targets, that is ability of the system to separate two adjacent targets. The beam width, the beam solid angle of an antenna is given by the beam solid angle or beam area, which can be represented by ohm suffix capital A. It is given by, it is the integral of the normalized power pattern over a sphere 4 pi steradian, over a sphere 4 pi steradian. The beam solid angle or beam area ohm A is equal to double integral of pi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, theta is equal to 0 to 2 pi, Pn of theta comma pi sin theta d theta do. So beam area OMA is the solid angle through which all the power radiated by antenna would stream. P of theta comma pi maintained its maximum value over OMA and it was 0. So therefore total power radiated is equal to power pattern P of theta comma pi multiplied by beam solid angle or beam area OMA watts. So beam area is the solid angle OMA is approximated in terms of angles which are subtended by the half power points of the main lobe in the two principal planes, that is given as ohm A is equal to theta hp and pi hp, where minor lobes are neglected. So I will stop it here. I will continue in the next class.